Hello, everyone. Music is playing good. And welcome to Dragon Riders, the finale. Yes, has it really been 8 episodes? It has. Little bit of finagling on one offline recording, but we managed to get it done. Thank you, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Wandering Inn, and also to the Dragon Riders finale. If you want to support the channel, is that not what I start with? What do I usually start with?
Do whatever you would like.
Just do what you want to do. Just
Okay.
Do what you want to do. I believe in you.
So, there's so many options. If you enjoy all these wonderful people, go check them out down below in the YouTube and also in the Twitch. There are links to the cast. Go give them a look. They all play games. They all stream. Some less than others. No judgment. Yeah. That's...
Are you talking about me?
No.
This is how we're starting today.
Talking about you. Yeah, sorry, Katie.
Yeah,
Wow. But is it me? I actually don't know.
No. I'm
it's
talking about someone who will remain nameless who called me a douchebag
Okay.
earlier.
I
Just
said if you
assume.
want to be a douchebag. That's different.
To be fair, I think I probably streamed the least out of everyone, but yes. Aside from that, if you enjoy the shows, if you want to see more, then go check out the Patreon. Essentially, all of the money for the Patreon goes towards paying the cast, and once we have set up paying the cast, it will start going to things like art and intro and things like that. Basically, this whole thing is not going to be profitable for at least 10 years, so it's looking good so far. Additionally, on that, if you want to see previous shows that we've done Traveller, a kind of space opera TTRPG called Drifting. We've done some Werewolf, we've done some Vampire the Masquerade. All of that is over on YouTube. Go and give it a look, because some of it is passable at the very least. And if you want to get notified, then there's the Discord and there's the Twitter. I don't like you sitting there with that very judgmental expression, Tash. It is off-putting every time I say something.
Really warm. That's all I can say.
Every time you say something, you either roll your eyes or you're like, that's
I'm like,
kind of
yeah,
like
that's right.
subpar.
No, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Keep going. You're doing so well.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Rule set?
Oh, the rule set is a custom Dragon Riders. There's a custom rule set. Yes, thank you. The custom Dragon Riders rule set is a custom Dragon Riders rule set I made myself for this show, which will be available to all patrons. I'll post it up there and you'll be able to download it, check it out. It's pretty simple, but if you want to run your own dragon game, you'll be able to. I need to remember that I can switch between the overlay as well, and I need to when people switch their things. So, with that said, shall we have a quick little recap and then get back into... No, wait!
I'm like,
So, the last thing to say is that it is extremely hot in England. It might be hot in other places, but all we care about right now is England, because both me and Tash are there. We are not used to the heat. We do melt if temperatures go above like 20, and we're currently at about 30 plus. So fans are on. Apologies for that, but I'm not allowing people to sit in discomfort when they might be melting. There you go.
There's also a really cool show on Mondays that just started called Mages.
There's a show on Monday. What channel is it on, Dan?
I think it's on this channel.
It is on this channel. It is called Mage Somnambulist. Has an awesome cast. Vandy, Tessichka, Syrinx, and I'm Kat. And we have hit episode 2. Next week is episode 3. Who'd have thought of that? I am a genius when it comes to episode titles. And also...
And maths.
And also maths. Thank you for saying maths.
You're welcome.
Speaks to my English sensibilities. And yeah, if you want to check that out, then again, it's on YouTube and it's live every 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. EST on Mondays on the channel. So You can check that one out too. Seeing as this is the finale of Dragon Riders, I have plans for other shows. They will be coming, but as things currently stand, the Monday show is fully financed in terms of cost pay. I do want to make the Friday show a permanent feature, but until I can reasonably cover the costs, it's going to be a when Sheepy has an idea or wants to do something, or finds a GM who wants to do something, there will be shows on Fridays. Aside from that, you may see other things coming out, but there's not going to be anything but the Monday show definitely scheduled. So, there we go. Anyway, as I said before, shall we have a very quick intro, a recap, and then we can get back into what is a reasonably tense situation. So, last week, our Dragon Riders and Dragons were, I believe, still dealing with the issue of Mage Girl? No. Yeah, no. They went to the tar pits of Talion. Had an interesting heart-to-heart between the dragons, and the riders worked out some of the things they needed to talk about. Interestingly, the main thing they wanted to talk about between Cass and Perry didn't get resolved, so, you know, we'll it's not a ticking time bomb, it'll be fine.
I thought it was resolved.
Harry, I thought there was a problem.
That's why it's resolved.
Yeah. Past that, they were contacted and informed that a large pack of drakes, fairly large dog-like lizard creatures, or wolf, maybe, yeah, were rampaging through an area, and they were asked to stop them. Traveling over to the area, they started to track them, got in front of them, and prepared like a 2-layered trap for them, involving ice spikes. Well, sorry, was it ice or ground? I think it was ground spikes.
It was glass made out of the sand.
Because it was in the sand. You're right. The sand was essentially changed into very hard glass, and Ardor and Ultra chased behind them to kind of shepherd them into the spikes, and they just kind of ran into them, and most of them were killed. The dragons jumped on the few remaining ones, and that's gonna
we
be
just dress rehearsal for the finale.
That's all this was.
It's gonna be some fun editing for me.
Just restart the recording.
Yeah, I agree. Just restart.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Dragon Riders. I'm not doing the whole intro. I fucked up it the first time. It's gonna be even worse
I'll do
now.
the intro. I will.
Oh, okay.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Dragon Riders on the Wandering In channel. If you enjoy the content, please do feel free to check out the Patreon, where all the costs currently stop, Ellie, I'm looking at your face. Currently go to paying the cast. You can
Hi everyone, welcome to Dragon Riders.
Hello, and welcome to Dragon Riders After Dark. We've all had a couple of drinks.
11 a.m. and I'm smashed.
We're going to answer the question: Can you
wish.
drink and
It's
drive
too,
with a
look,
dragon?
it's too hot. All right, you know it is warm.
You
over
guys,
here
I'll
in
I'll
Britain.
put the original intro in, and I'll cut a little
Just
bit
cut
out
it.
where it. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just cut it. It's cool. So
I say my intro wasn't good enough. Jeez.
Sorry.
I think you should just leave it. Don't do any editing.
no editing. I'll put everyone through exactly what we went through. I'll download the bit where I stop the recording as well and edit it in, so everyone has to go through all of that. Where I'm like tweaking the sounds. I'm like,
It's art.
What the fuck is with this reverb?
Art and improv.
A little lesson that I have learned is if you do a Windows update, check all of your settings on your Go XLR, because apparently it's scrambled everything on all of my settings, so I had to go to a profile that was like a default profile.
Yeah,
Instead
Windows
of my
really
usual.
doesn't like it, does it?
It really
No.
doesn't. Anyway, so Dragon Riders finale, tense situation, tense music. Here we go. So, trying to figure out, do I just do the whole previously on recap? Yeah, I think so. We started out with the dragons and dragon riders in the tar pits. Dragons had a little bit of a dip and a little bit of a bond. The dragon riders got subjected to Sheepy's love of creating food within TTRPGs, and had a little bit of a chat. They worked a few things out, not everything, but they then got notified of a large pack of drakes, basically rampaging through the countryside, heading up towards the plains desert area. There's a city and some villages and whatnot up there. They cut them off at the pass, landed in front and set up a trap, which the drakes ran into, and the few remaining ones who survived managed to get picked off by a hungry Ardor and just, the rest of the dragons. At which point, a man showed up, proclaiming to be the Scar, proclaiming to be Agony, who the riders pretty quickly. You were also joined by, I believe, Illyria and Jerix. At which point the mage turned up, who had been previously alluded to, causing some issues in the village, which was deserted except for one girl. And the mage made introductions and then transported everyone, all the dragons, all of the dragon riders, to Niane's Fall, a island off the coast of this section of the continent, which is blasted rock, obsidian, volcanoes, and that type of thing. After a little bit of conversation, he said, "Let me introduce you to Desolation." Turned around, pointed at a mountain, which then proceeded to open an eye and start to move. Okay. So, with that in mind, we will rejoin as the mountain opens its eye. The ground starts to shake around you as parts of the ground fall away from what you originally thought was a mountain, and a head lifts up, jaws. You start to see the kind of like folded haunches start to tense and push up. As the mountain rises out of the ground, you realize that you are looking at a massive black dragon with the mage you only know as Agony in front of you. You hear a very short and quick kind of like curse or exclamation from Jerix, and the shaking of the ground stops as the dragon finally stands up. To give you an idea of the dragon's size, aside from it's like a mountain, it could probably fit the majority of you in its mouth with one gulp. So you're like craning up. Even the tallest of the dragons, Ardor or Tourmaline. To call it a mountain is not inappropriate. And there's essentially a pause. And then Agony turns back around to you and says, "That is desolation, my dragon."
Pleased to meet you, Desolation.
The eye like swivels around and fixates on you, Cassandra, but also on Argent. And Argent, you feel alone. Like the walls of your perception close in on you. As all of the dragons with you, all of the riders with you, and finally even Cassandra disappear, and you are contained within a dark, black bubble, and it almost feels like you're underwater the way the pressure is like applying on you. You can't see anything, you can't hear anything. You realize that you can't taste or smell, you can't experience anything, to the point where you are unsure of if you exist. The only thing that you can really feel anymore is your thought process, is your mind still trying to figure out how to sense, how to touch, how to feel, and then that's gone. You're back, you're with everyone, and you realize that the dragon's eye has moved off you and kind of like sweeping around, looking out.
Yeah, I think Argent is just probably shaken a bit after that and doesn't say anything, trying to process what just happened.
I also like trying to bundle Argent behind me. It's not small, but like.
Argent definitely coils up, and like you would feel Argent pressing up against you after that.
So, don't worry about it for now, but Desolation here is not a being you should contemplate contesting. With that in mind, welcome to Niane's Fall, where Desolation's sister fell, along with Niane.
Why did you bring us here?
Well, I had hoped to draw out some more of the masters with my little stunt with the drakes. Unfortunately, you were all drawn out instead. I thought this was a good moment for me to have a word with some of the new dragon riders, thus recently born and formed.
Okay. And that word is...
Well, you are unfortunately joined to an organization with an questionable history. I thought it would be worth meeting some of you first.
The mountain is pretty much the dragon, yes?
Yes.
Can I scan it and see if there's anything threatening about it, or if it's just existing?
Currently, it's not being threatening. It is kind of occasionally its eye will come down to view you, but it's not even facing directly towards you. It's kind of looking around, and it's kind of very nonchalantly there's maybe a bit of stretching and things like that, causing, a few tremors in the ground and things, but essentially for right now, it appears to be letting Agony speak.
Okay.
Yes, a chat sounds pleasant. Can we retire somewhere else? Just wouldn't want to interrupt Desolation's waking up, I suppose.
Sorry, what is your name?
Cassandra.
Cassandra. Unfortunately, we do have business to attend to soon, so we must be leaving, in a short while. So, it would be best for us to have our conversation, and then you may stay here or go on your way as you would like.
Of course. Yes, that sounds... Yes, let us chat.
What kind of business?
Well, I'm curious as to what your teachings have been and how far lost you are to the propaganda of the riders. And at that, there is a movement from Jerix, and he kind of Rettore kind of twists around him very slightly more, and you hear him say, "What do you mean by propaganda?" I merely mean the falsehoods and lies that have been propagated and spun by the riders throughout the past few centuries.
Why would we trust you? How do we know you're not doing the same thing?
You do not. I have no reason to lie.
I do not mean to offend you, but I do not know you. I understand you say you might not have a reason to lie, but trust is not something that you are granted immediately.
I'm not asking you to trust me.
Well, I do not. You brought us to this place.
And killed some of the people we know.
Yes.
That kind of doesn't put you really in a spot of ever being trusted, despite propaganda or not. Doesn't that make you the same as them?
Perhaps. I am comfortable that the purpose I intend to serve is worthy.
For who?
For me. And for my family.
There it is.
So you're deciding for others what their fate should be based on what you view as worthy?
Yes. As happened to my family.
what happened to your family?
The majority of my line was wiped out when the Empire fell. I am the last surviving descendant of the Emperor's line.
Well, that may not be entirely accurate. How long have you been on this island?
I have been on this island on and off for a few years after I took up the mantle from my father of waiting for the time of desolation.
Then how do you know that you are the last of the Emperor's line? How did you hear about it, and how do you know the rest of the world is bereft?
My great grandfather fled when the Imperial Palace fell. The rest of our family was rounded up and either executed or killed in the ensuing fighting. My grandfather fled here to this place. Having been a student of magic, he was aware of a connection to the dragons.
But if your grandfather escaped, then it is entirely possible and quite probable that others did as well. And then out of character, because I'm just like, I know. Holy shit. But like, he either really believes it, but I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not telling him too much.
There is no evidence to suggest such, and all of our investigations indicate that the Emperor's line is believed to have entirely died out.
That wouldn't change what you do regardless, though, would it?
No.
If you believe so strongly in this, and you couldn't just have a conversation, you had to bring us here.
I had to retrieve Desolation. I wanted to see what the current new stock of Dragon Riders was like.
Well, this just feels like a power move. You need control instead of having a real conversation. You know your dragon is much bigger.
Yes.
This is abnormal.
I believe you me. If I wanted to have confronted you by myself, I could have. The power afforded to be by my longevity at this point is astronomical.
Is that a threat?
No, it is a simple statement of fact.
I'm gonna look at Cass, Ruthera, and Perry. And I want to, like, what are they each doing?
I'm clearly trying to, like, de-escalate a little, but also that guy was wrong. You can't be wrong about history, bro. And I'm just like, oh, you're writing it in. Kind of.
Ruthera's very much standing at attention, like almost kind of stone, like not like very much trying to take in the situation. Doesn't want to make things worse, but also is like, we gotta find a way to get out of here. Like I'm instantly just trying to figure out a backup plan and trying to like, so I just complete.
Perry's
for-
fidgeting. Perry's just fidgeting with like his tools and looks like he's thinking a lot on who knows what.
For complete reference, Jerix is kind of standing there, like clenched, unclenched fists, and like you can see his jaw is, like working, like heavily.
Clenched.
And Illyria is kind of semi behind her Illyrium, her dragon, where she's kind of like not wanting to hide behind him, but he is a big kind of hulky beast, so the instinct to hide is clearly there.
What I think Ultra is trying to say is that this place of conversation can be perceived as a power move or threatening instead of a conversation.
I had not considered that. It seems ridiculous for any of you to attempt a aggressive act in this situation, but I can assure you I have no intention of doing you harm right now. And he looks up towards Desolation and says, I do not think Desolation particularly even notices you for very long.
Right. Right now. Yes. Good.
If we were going to have a conversation, wouldn't it be better if everyone was comfortable, not just you?
I think perhaps I could arrange that for a moment if you would like.
You have not given us much of a choice.
I intended to give you no choice. Otherwise, I would have asked you first if you would like to come here and to talk. I required information, thus I brought you here.
Yes, it's rather like telling rather than conversation.
Maybe we should stop antagonizing the nice mage who has not ended us and in a heartbeat.
Antagonizing Perry, it's just we're
Just
trying
saying
to
it's
explain
just
our point of view. It's a conversation.
General statement, not to anyone in particular.
Perhaps he's unaware.
I assume you six all hail from Harrowhold.
So as Ultra, he's deflecting. He said right now and could move you for a moment. It's just like her blood is boiling every time this person speaks. And so when she sees Jerix kind of doing the same thing, like clenching jaw, like squeezing hand, like for once, like on the same wavelength. But then I'm also recognizing that Cass is kind of trying to de-escalate. So trying to not push it too much, but this guy, I don't.
No, I mean I'm there with you, but right now.
I'm gonna take a step towards him. I'm listening. What do you have to tell?
Oh.
Ardor would step up with you.
If you are unwilling to talk, then perhaps I should move things forward slightly.
Well, we just would like to talk about the conversation in a calm way.
With everyone's comfort in mind.
How can that be achieved?
Maybe bringing us back to where we were before.
Yes.
You brought us to see this mountain of a dragon.
Neutral ground.
I do rather feel that if I took you back to the mainland, your immediate actions would be to head back to Harrowhold and to warn them as soon as possible of my existence.
Admittedly, couldn't you just pull us right back here the moment we attempted to leave?
I would prefer not to expend myself needlessly, but possibly, yes.
Not just saying you could. It's not like we're in a position of being able to do that.
So, is there a way to make you more comfortable? I am interested in hearing of Harrowhold.
Why don't we do this? I'll tell you about Harrowhold. We all will if you take us back. We can make a campfire and we'll have a nice little chat.
No, I don't think I will. I appreciate the effort, however. But if we cannot have a conversation, then I shall have to proffer Desolation's offer to all of you before we go. If
all you want to know about Harrowhold? What? We can talk here? No? Or...
I appreciate the thought, but your reluctance to speak of it clearly means, unfortunately, likely your loyalties lie with the Riders and with Harrowhold.
I think you've just relatively caught us off guard and made us uncomfortable. So I don't think it's that anyone's willing to talk.
If we've only heard one side of a story, then how can we make a decision?
It's also bold to assume that we are allegiant to something. You do not know us.
I know of the Riders, of their structures, of their systems, and how they hold the people back.
Yes, but you do not know me.
That is true. You have been remarkably reluctant to talk.
Well, you can understand our position. I imagine at one point you were not at the level you are now. The magical capacity. And in comparison, we yes, as you say, it would be ridiculous to make a move. So it's very uncomfortable for us. And yes, if it's propaganda, then how are we to know any different? If you won't tell us.
Well, my goal is extremely simple. It is revenge for what was done to my family. Luckily for me, we have made an agreement, my family, with Desolation. Desolation's goals are different, but we find ourselves approaching the same conclusion.
What happens when you get your revenge? But then
I imagine my role will be done with desolation. Our bond will end, and I will fade.
That's kind of a depressing way to get what you want. Like, you kind of get nothing. Like, literally.
We get what we have desired for the last few hundred years.
Being alone and then dying alone. That sounds terrible.
I think it will be worth it to finally achieve the goals of my family.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like family to me. Y'all can talk to him. But I don't see it going anywhere, personally.
And Desolation's agenda is obviously different to yours. Is that also in the same vein against Harrowhold, seemingly?
Desolation was party to the original pact that formed the Dragon Riders, that his sister agreed to. The terms of surrender he never agreed with.
So if he didn't agree, how could he be a part of the original pact?
He was party to them. He was not agreed with. He dissented. But the surrender became a reality regardless, and the Riders were formed to overthrow the Empire.
Well, not to say, not to have an opinion on what happened, as I was not there. The realm has been in relative peace for hundreds of years.
The realm, the countries, the city, the nations have all been stymied from growth, from natural progression and evolution. The threat of the Dragon Riders has stopped the natural formation of countries. As they war, as they grow, so too do they evolve. New progress has been halted by the presence of a force that will allow no progress. Thus, the system must be overthrown to allow this to restart.
So tear everything down to build it back up in your own vision.
My vision is just revenge. This is Desolation's vision that I will be enacting. And at that point, the head swings around on the long neck, and essentially the eyes don't focus on any of you, but you are being regarded collectively as a group.
Not to make assumptions, but if Desolation has been asleep for all this time, and you have clearly been on this island for a while, how how can you judge that there has been no progress or effective stymieing of progress if you are not out there?
I have been out there. I have been wandering the land, observing. Otherwise, how would I know of Harrowhold?
Well,
How would I know of the riders and what they have been doing and how they have been enforcing their will on the continent?
Can I scan this man? Like, can I scan? He talks like he's like 500 years old. Can I get a general consensus of who he is?
Sure, yeah. Are we talking just a quick once over, or are you kind of like really?
Oh, I'm real.
looking to-
Yeah, I'm looking at him, and I mean everyone else is talking, and I stepped forward, so I'm just like surveying and just studying every nook and cranny of this person, and like really being analytical of his spoken words, but also just his body language and stuff.
Okay, could you roll me your control, please?
Yes. Ultra's control is a 3, and I had.
Sorry, your resolve, not your control. That's
Okay.
me being dumb.
You're not being dumb. There's a lot to track. Resolve. I have my clarity, but I feel like I want to keep that because that takes away a die, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so 4d10.
2 successes. It's hard to tell how old he is. He doesn't seem to, in terms of his bearing, in terms of his attitude, he doesn't seem to be vindictive or angry particularly. Possibly those things exist under the surface, maybe. He seems, I would say, probably resolute and a little relieved would be the best way to describe.
What does his like age appear to be?
50s maybe?
Okay. I think because I can't suss it out, I'm just gonna immediately, if there's a break, ask, how old are you?
I believe I have been alive for maybe close to 120 years. I stopped keeping track. It never seemed particularly important.
I'm gonna look at Cass. Is that a mage thing?
As riders, we do have longer lifespans, and I am not aware, though, mages tend to take their power from their lifespan.
The extent of our lives is essentially the well of our power. Our life expectancy is what power we can draw upon.
So yes, as a rider, there's a reason he was able to teleport us all, Ultra.
I'm gonna. How close are you to me? Do you think, Cass? Like, can I lean
I feel
over and
like-
say something to you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably nearer the front because we're having a conversation.
You did say you stepped forward, so I would say it would be reasonably noticeable if you, like, you know, turned around and went, "What the hell's happening at the moment?"
Yeah, I know. I feel like what I would do now is I'm gonna turn around and step back with the group, but as I pass Cass, I'm gonna whisper, Can we get ourselves out of here?
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I'm just gonna start walking around the perimeter. Like, I'm gonna try to see if there's like, let's see if we run into a wall or just try to.
As you start to walk away, you feel the air turn into like kind of almost like treacle, like really it turns thick and it turns difficult to move in. It kind of slows down your movements and things. And you hear him say, "Please, for now, would you entertain me before I must leave? I appreciate that you are nervous and concerned as to desolation, but I intend to leave you here unharmed."
Here?
Yes, here. I cannot have you returning to Harrowhold before I reach it. Before we reach it.
What exactly is your plan?
We intend to destroy the structure. The Harrowhold will be destroyed, and the riders will be scattered or destroyed if they refuse.
Refuse Desolation's offer? Is that?
Oh, my apologies. I did not mention. If you would like, Desolation extends the option of servitude. If you would like to join us in reshaping the continent into something better, into something that will allow evolution and progress. And he kind of like scans across all of you. And power. You are welcome to join.
Yeah, that sounds like propaganda.
Join you or what?
Or stay
Die.
here.
I think it's a rather large decision to make and take in at the moment, with not all the information and story from your side at hand. Correct? Looking around like, every way, 'cause the boys gonna die.
I'm seeing Cass get like trying to be a diplomat here. So I'm just gonna sit next to our door. I'm just gonna go over after I go through the thick treacle environment. And I'm just gonna sit down.
Ardor would curl around you, like protective,
Maybe
but
one
also
of the
comfort.
necks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you say, we have not, we haven't heard all the information, if we have been told at Harrowhold, and so I don't feel we can make that decision at present.
Is there no one who wishes to join? And at that, you'll notice a movement to your left on the side. As Rettore unfolds slightly from Jerix, leaving him a path as he starts to walk forwards towards Agony.
Jerix is starting to go towards.
And there's like a very faint smile on Agony's face as he says, "Oh, wonderful. I was convinced that no one would be open to the idea." And as Jarix walks forward, Rattore like lowers himself to the ground and starts to slither up behind Jarix, towards Desolation and towards Agony. You hear Jarix say, "Little bird, make sure they all get away as quickly as possible, will you?" And he keeps walking forward and says, "We can only perceive each other. We can only perceive each other." As for Desolation, his eyes both turn and fixate on Jarix. As he keeps walking forward, you can sense a swelling of power from Rattore, and Illyria kind of turns around to, I think, most likely Cass, and says, "We need to go now." And she comes out from behind of
Lyrium.
she comes out from behind of Illyrium and jumps onto his back.
Okay, the moment that happens, Perry's on Tourmaline.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Same.
I'm
Yeah.
on Ardor.
And Cynthia.
Yeah.
And as I'm assuming dragons, you're all taking off.
Oh yeah.
Do running start, immediately shooting straight up into the sky. As you take off, you hear kind of almost slightly echoed, "We can only perceive each other." As Rattore and Jarix start moving closer, as you I'm assuming you're going straight for the mainland.
Yes, straight.
Yeah.
Crow
Yeah.
flies.
I imagine
Dragonflies.
Yeah.
You hear faintly and slightly frustratedly, "What is it you think you're doing?" As the voices fade away, you start shooting towards the mainland. It is still going to take you a couple of hours to get there.
Argent would love to use some power potentially as up to
We might be able to make Incinzia faster.
Yes, we need to warn them.
One needs to get there sooner than the rest.
Bethera and Cynthia, you ready?
On it. And
And-
Cynthia, let's go.
Arjun would like to do as best as we can to enhance their wings, their airfoil, anything with speed.
Okay. Power from Argent, please. Control from Cass. Oh, damn. Very nice. Do you have any, for Argent, do you have any tags that can help you lower success rate?
Enhancement, which was more for
Enhancement,
humans, but
Dragon
in this case, I
tactics?
think it's enhancing a physical attribute rather
In
than a
this
power.
case, I will allow it. For,
So that would be 4 successes.
That is
You
4
did have-
successes and 4
Yeah.
successes.
You had 4 successes too. Well done.
Oh,
You
boy.
have dragon
A
tactics
10
as well,
each.
don't you? So it would be what exactly do we need to enhance to?
So, if you'll allow me a little flourish to add on to, essentially what you would like to do is to increase the muscle mass in the wings to increase the speed. But as you are going, you start to realize that the power you have manifest, and this would be specifically Cassandra, the power you have at your disposal is much more potent and much more malleable than it usually is. Maybe it's Argent's heightened state, who knows, maybe it's the experience he just had, which you're not currently completely aware of, but you get the feeling that something weird happened. However, what you are able to do is you're able to essentially bestow some aspect of Argent's flight onto Incinzia, and Rithera by, it essentially will cut down on the wind resistance, because the way that Argent flies, kind of like it's controlling of the air as opposed to use of propellants. It'll essentially make Incinzia faster along with the basic enhancements given.
Super fast.
So I'm assuming that Incinzia and Rithera just...
Oh yeah.
Do you want to say anything before you rocket?
I'm heading to the Masters. I think would be just like that. I'm basically gonna head straight there.
Heading straight to Arrowhold.
Yeah.
As you prepare Incinzia, you kind of like bunch your muscles and you prepare to kind of outpace them to go faster. You all hear a boom from behind you. Any of you who turn to look, which I assume would be the majority of you, you will see half of the island become consumed in crackling black flame as it just kind of just like pours across the island and then into the sea as this giant blast of like flame. It's not coming in your direction, but
Quickly.
I did not look at all as
No, I didn't look either.
I
Rithera
did.
wouldn't have, but
Yeah, because it's Jarek's down there. I want to see what.
Oh yeah.
Can I see Jarek's and his dragon?
you would have been traveling fast enough that you are out of distance for particularly view. I would say maybe some of the dragons might be able to still see, but if they're concentrating, they will have been not blinded by, but their vision would have been obstructed by the vast amount of flame that just poured out across the island.
One
Yeah, I
head
think-
would have been
Oh,
looking.
Okay, I was wondering if Ardor would have just been like focused going forward. Did I think you would know that I'm looking down. I know what it means seeing that happen. Like whatever remains of Jarek's is gone. What do you see, Ardor?
I don't think there's anything left.
Quickly, let's make sure this isn't for nothing.
It won't be for nothing. I promise.
And then I'm just gonna like hunker down, like somebody to make themselves more aerodynamic and just focus dead ahead now on where we're going.
And I'm gonna like, if I can with my back muscles, try and give you a hug. Like it's like there's trying to be comfort, but I'm keeping two heads forward and one is still one head's probably watching the party and then one's watching back and one's watching forward.
I'm probably used to feeling like what you do for like the little back hug, and I feel like a little inkling of it, so I know like it's what you can do right now, but the feeling is still there.
Mhm.
I also feel like Tourmaline, you've never seen Tourmaline move this fast. So I would just make sure as soon as not my normal like meandering to take off kind of thing, just like
Yeah.
just instantaneously. Clearly I have the capability to do it, but I just make a choice to not do it and try to get Perry out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Perry's buckled into his.
Like clicking in and
Yeah,
I'm already
pretty
like
much.
in the air.
Yup.
I feel like I would have, if Ultra and Ardor kind of paused, I would have been making sure they keep up. I don't want to lose anyone on. That's really weird for Cassandra. Just like this, I need to make sure everyone's. We need to go.
Yeah.
We're going together.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would stick with the group like a little. I picture us like a little flock
Yeah.
in the sky,
Yeah.
V formation.
We're just heading like southwest, like directly heading that way.
Yep.
Okay. In this instance, could I get a power roll from Incensia?
Oh, yes, I will change color also. Come on.
And I think in this instance, seeing as you're basically going to be trying to, help and maintain, but you're not really controlling it, I would say.
Is it power? Because that's like I thought it would be physical.
So
Okay.
the power does relate to the magical power, the ability that the dragon has. It also relates to general strength and power. Martial basically relates to the combat prowess. It's slightly different. Could we get a resolve from Rithera, please?
You certainly can.
So that was my power, and I have fast and powerful.
Yes. So that is 3 successes.
And that's 3 successes from me, a 10 and 2 9s.
And that is 3 successes from you as well. Okay. In that case, before we go to Incensia and Rithera returning, essentially we will follow your faster progress in a moment. Is there anything that anyone, essentially between the remaining group of Dragon Riders would want to have as a conversation or said or anything as you are heading back? Because essentially it's going to take you a bit longer to get back.
I mean, I think
It would be completely valid if you were all essentially quiet
Well, yeah.
and just kind of
I-
like leaning
I
forward
think
and just kind of like...
It's trying to go as fast as possible and not think of the fact that everything is just about to explode.
I do think Cass is thinking of he is wrong. But the sort of historical anger of a family, I suppose.
Mm.
But also but he's still wrong, and he's like that is not the solution.
Yeah. In that
think-
case,
Yeah.
Incensia and Rithera still takes around about an hour for you to get there. You hit the coast and you see the city of Garrick. Sorry, one second. I'm just checking that is on the course. Yes, that is on the course. You would see the city of Garrick and probably almost fly directly over it as you head towards Harrowhold. Even from this distance, the horizon's fairly clear, the sky's fairly clear at the moment. You can't see the mountains of Harrowhold.
Just because we're too far away, or they don't exist?
You can't see them. Usually they'd be, peeking through the clouds, or they'd be kind of like these big structures in the distance.
And Cynthia, do you think the mage already did what she was supposed to?
No. We'll get back.
Okay.
Push
I'm
harder?
just gonna it's like push.
Yeah. As you get closer, you see what happened to the mountains. They are in rubble and piles on the ground. Essentially, it seems like they have, to some degree, been destroyed. The surrounding area, as you get closer, you realize has been scorched. There's sections of the forest behind where the mountains were that are on fire, and the fire is slowly spreading out. And Yeah.
Do we see any dragons or riders flying?
I do almost stop short for one moment, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
couple
There's
of
like a
beats,
kind of hesitant,
couple
Give you a
beats in the
chance
air
to
and-
rest
And-
if you perch on a tree or something.
you would be tired by now.
Yeah, I'm very tired. But I think I'll probably go to where the tower would have been.
I'd want to see if there were any survivors. I'd want to see if there was anybody. So I would be the same thing. I'd be right in.
Okay. In that case, you swoop in. The like central area where all the buildings were is rubble, is like sections of cliff, of mountain that seems like it has essentially fallen. There is a section of the mountain that is still intact. The main Harrowhold mountain. It goes up a little ways, not super high, and then is essentially kind of rubble and shorn off at a certain point. It looks like possibly it's hard for you to tell exactly, but you could guess that this isn't like a dragon smacking it, like a giant dragon smacking it, or a or like a blast of flame. This is more like an explosion.
And we see no one.
Judging by the flames and everything, the likelihood is that this happened a while ago. Maybe around or before you met the mage. Oh, well, before he teleported you.
Where would they go? Where? They have to be somewhere.
You hope. Would they flee? You'd think that we would stay and fight if anybody was left. If there was any threat to fight. Do we see anything? Incensia, do you see anything? I don't see any type of threat or something that would have done this.
I see what you see. There's nothing.
Do we stop the others?
We need to regroup. We need to... Where would they go? Where is safer after Harrowhold?
I don't think I've known anywhere safer than Harrowhold. Cass might know.
Right. Let's get our pod and let's go.
Yeah.
I am knackered. I am so tired. But let's do it.
Yeah.
Taking off again?
Yep. No one's here. Like if
Yeah.
If we don't see anything or anyone, like if we see absolutely no sense of life at all,
It appears to be none.
I feel like we have to like get our pod and not come here
Yeah.
if this is where desolation is coming.
that would be exactly the same thing for Withera. It would just be protecting what's left.
Yeah.
And our family.
So heading back to the group, I would say you'd probably... I'm assuming you're not going at a breakneck speed anymore.
I still... I'm trying, but I don't want to... Like, I realize we don't know how far we're going to have to travel.
Yeah.
So I'm not, like, blasting it, but we have to get them sooner rather than later as well.
Yeah.
An awkward power fly.
I also wouldn't be pushing you.
Rithera, sorry, not Rithera, Incinzia.
Yes.
Give me a... Can you give me a resolve, please?
Yes.
3 successes. How much notice you take of this, down to you. Once you've kind of landed and settled for a bit, and that kind of like frantic go, go, go has faded a little bit for you, and probably as you're taking off and heading back to go meet up, you'll realize there's a slight, like, coppery metallic taste in the air, reminiscent of the village.
I think Rithera already assumed and thought it was the girl from the village. So I don't think I'm gonna... I just want to... Yeah.
Incinzia, I mean.
No, Rithera asked if
commented
it
on it.
was if we think that the
Oh, okay.
If it was the mage, because we didn't know she was a mage originally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like it. I don't think it matters in this moment. What matters is getting the regroup.
Yeah. In that case, you rejoin the group. For the group, essentially, you see a blue shape about the size of Incinzia and Rithera speeding towards you from the direction of Harrowhold. You are over the land now, and I will say you probably have, at least some of you likely noticed, that you see no mountains in the distance. The Harrowhold Mountains don't appear to be there. Incinzia coming back, essentially not shooting back, but essentially rejoins you.
if Incinzia would allow me, I'd land. Like
Yeah.
basically trying to stop them and have them come to us.
Yeah, okay. So you like head down towards the land when you get close to them. It's essentially a reasonably open area of plains, farmland, fields, just, you know,
Are we
trees
past?
dotted here and there.
Are we past Garrick or
Yeah.
not? Okay.
A little bit past Garrick. And
Sarah, what's?
I was gonna say, for the rest of you, I'm assuming you just want to land?
Yeah, if I see Incinzia and Rithera landing, then we'll follow suit.
Okay.
Kind of steer Argent or Tourmaline that way, and just pointing down.
Yeah, I mean, we would do that the same. I just feel like it would be odd. Be like, why'd they come back?
This is
Yep.
like, oh no, why'd they
So-
come back?
Yeah. So my stomach drops when I see them land and all of us start making our way.
And Incinzia and Rithera already on the ground as the rest of the dragons and riders land kind of close by in a little semicircle type bit, including Illyria and Delirium.
Rithera's just sitting there shaking her head like
What?
there's nothing left.
Wait.
What do you mean nothing left?
No one. Nothing. Everything's gone.
Rithera, where's Harrowhold? Where's the mountain?
Yeah.
Trouble.
How? What? How?
My best guess is the girl.
I brought her back.
On orders.
We all
It's
brought her
not
back.
your fault.
Valeria.
But wait,
Is it a trap?
it might have been, but wait. You said there's nothing there. When we first found the mage, nothing was around her. Everything was gone.
Yes.
Well, that meant no bodies. Did you see anything?
Just rubble.
And then maybe they got away. Maybe they sensed something bad, like all life did around the first time. Maybe
The
some
sense
got
was
away.
the same.
Somebody felt the same. Okay, then maybe they got away. Maybe they had a chance.
At the very least, some of them should have gotten away.
Or some weren't at home.
Many, well, Iliagar and they were already out. There was a lot going on elsewhere. Maybe they sent a lot of people out in the first place.
Maybe, but we need to get away from Harrowhold.
We need somewhere safe.
We could go to Lowhold. It's under a mountain.
There are too many people in Lorehold. We'd be bringing danger to them by...
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want that thing.
No.
I know where we could go.
Where?
Where I come from. We don't have much visitors. We don't go many places. We're a cult. Nobody comes to see us.
We could go into the wastes to the south. It's frozen. There's not much in the way of sustenance. It could be a good place. There are mountains. Or we could go and over the steel spine into the forest.
That's what I was thinking. We don't need as many provisions. We can hunt. We can regroup. That is where I would go. So then should we not go there?
Well, I don't know if we should go to any of our homes. Because I feel like that's the expectation.
Then perhaps we should search for Iliagar. In the north? In the desert?
Think we need help?
Yes. We need to alert them to know what's going on. We have to tell them something, anyone. We can't just hide.
I don't think... I think we should hide. I don't think we should be flying around and... At the moment...
It's not our job to hide.
There's a difference between hiding and coming up with a plan. We just watched 2 places or get completely removed off the face of the landscape. What are we realistically going to do?
We need to regroup, make a plan, find the other riders that escaped Harrowhold, and stop agony and desolation. But if we die now, how are we to do that?
We could regroup in the swamp. It's misty, it's lower visibility, and then there's the tree Master Iligar showed me. It's sacred to the dragons. They may have gone there as a central point. And we could easily hide in the swamp. Best of both worlds.
The swamp would be safe without having to run too far away.
Exactly, and it's only just to our north. We don't have to go very far. Think? Orienting
yes.
himself
If it was the river to the north or if it was by the morsel grounds. I can't remember.
If we do want to go there, we'll have to pass over Harrowhold.
It could be good to see if there's anyone circling and collect them and bring them with us.
Just prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Or he hops on, or doesn't hop off Tourmaline, I should say. I think I never left.
Yeah.
I think we're all just
But
Also, like, ready to go, because...
yeah, I was ready to watch.
quick exits.
If we do get separated, then the swamp, the tree.
It's a good landmark.
Do we have a second location if not?
The tar pits?
That would be good. We all know where it is, and
The tar pits are right next to Talion.
Then,
We would be noticed.
yes, then we would fly
Then-
south beyond and into the waste. And return 3
Only
days
as-
after?
Only as a if we get separated.
Last resort. And we'll-
Last resort.
Perhaps if we keep our heads down for a bit, we could prepare a few rendezvous places where we could run to if we are found in the swamp.
Yes. Let's.
Yeah.
Let's. And I imagine Cassandra and Argent. We're not trying to. I don't really think we want to go very high now. Or like,
Keep low.
yeah, we don't want to draw lots of attention to ourselves. I think being higher will do that.
Okay. And you're heading to the swamp.
Yeah.
So flying pretty low, reasonably fast, or as fast as Incensia can manage to keep up with.
Yeah.
I will say at this point, Incensia, you are lagging a little bit. You are tired. You can keep going, but not forever.
Yeah. We just need to get there.
You pass Liberalia on the right as you head down towards past the morsel grounds, kind of down towards the bottom end of the Steel Spine, where there is a large section of swampland. And as you get closer, you see the crumbled ruins of the mountains. It is a large area which has essentially been kind of covered with a fallen mountain or mountains. Again, there's no sign of anything. All of the buildings, all of the everything that was once Harrowhold has been covered in rock and ruin, and the trees have been burned away quite far.
Remnants of trees still standing?
Charcoal.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was wondering like how hot the flame would be in that regard
It
for the
doesn't-
explosion.
It doesn't appear to have been
It's not like an incineration, yeah, okay. Perry would probably go a little lower looking for bodies. It is unfortunately reminiscent of like a mine collapse in his mind. So he's looking to see if any evidence, because there usually is for people in a collapse like that. So he's hoping he does not see anyone, which is why he's doing this.
You know what? Given Perry's background, I will say there appear to be a few, as you go down and go closer, there appear to be a few sections of this kind of mass of rubble that appear to have been excavated small holes which would have let out something.
Okay. So he sees that and like nods to himself and keeps going. He knows it's not the time.
Yeah.
But
And you keep going past Harrowhold into the morsel grounds, the forest, which has been partially burned away. Not all of it. It is a quite large section of forest, which slowly transitions into slightly sparser tree cover, but very intense vegetation, and then water, swampland, even sections of the land that's there is very clearly wet and damp. And you just heading to the tree?
I think
Yeah.
Perry's leading the way because he's the.
yeah, I think I'm the only one who's been here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Perry leads you, and do you want to alight on the land there? Because the land is very sparse in this area.
Yeah, I would probably like land where I remember us sitting out away from the tree.
There are some outcroppings up on the mountain, but they are a bit more kind of like if something or someone is passing by, you'd be more obvious on the mountain than down in the swamp area.
Got it.
So you land. I imagine the majority of the dragons get their feet a little wet as they land. I assume dismount on a reasonably large-ish patch of land. The dragons themselves will need to be in the water to make space enough, but it's enough space for everyone to be gathered together. In the distance, down at the end, there's a tree that is bone white, bereft of all leaves and of any adornments aside from a few necklaces and pendants and jewels.
Well, it's still here. I know there are survivors. I saw. I made a quick look. There looks like people dug themselves out or got help. So there's some people that lived.
We have to get them.
That's good.
Well, they weren't there. They got out. I don't think it's as in it looks like there was help.
Where would they go?
Don't know.
Like scanning the trees, looking around for any sign that people have been here recently. He's not good at that sort of thing. He's just looking.
Well, it's a massive stretch, but like, would I know of anywhere sort of in history where obviously there was a war going on and there was different factions, and would I know of anywhere that was sort of the original bolt hold or home or anything? Just like racking my brain for like where they could go if not here.
Where you are right now, the swamp isn't super safe. This position would allow you to maintain some form of observation of this area, while allowing a retreat over the mountains into either the forest, which is very, very like wild and uninhabited, or over into the frozen mountains and kind of icy wasteland that is further south. It also keeps you away. Honestly, Perry, this is an amazing choice because it keeps you away from the majority of civilization. So, like, the situation you currently face is your base has been destroyed. Possibly, as far as you can be aware, the majority of the riders have either been killed or scattered. And you have a giant black dragon along with the remnants of the royal line of the Empire, intent on some form of destruction of the Dragon Riders in general. Obviously deciding to start with this section of the continent. There is a possibility that Desolation is hunting Dragon Riders. There's also a possibility, it was reasonably unclear, so you don't know whether you're essentially hunted now, or you are the remnants of like a defeated force, or what. So what I think I will say here is that with all of that in mind, you are unsure of where would be better to go at the current state. Possibly if you had access to the library, you could go and research these types of things, or if you had access to, you know, a city or something like that. As things currently stand, you can't remember anywhere better. But I will give all of you a moment, although I feel like Cassandra is the most likely to remember. There is one aspect, one thing that you have possibly not remembered or considered. I will say for Cassandra and for Argent, I will give a roll of resolve. Okay, it's 2 successes for Cassandra
And none for Argent.
none for Argent. Argent is probably quite distracted.
A little bit.
Cassandra, as you passed over Harrowhold, you got a kind of like, you know, tickle in your brain, which was like, hey, pay attention to me, but busy and trying to, you know, go and focus. While you're trying to think of safe areas, possible safe places, that type of thing, you remember the Egghold, the gates, and the fact that it's buried under Harrowhold now.
Yes. So immediately I'm thinking so many things. It's all just flitting through of what if the eggs are all destroyed? What if Desolation is going to try and destroy them? What?
What if he tries to take them?
What if he tries to take them and make raise his own? He wanted to get Harrowhold's younglings, I suppose. But
There's a thought for you. What if he already has some of them?
But he's magic.
It's possible that you were not the first group he approached.
Great. So you just kind of see Cass just sat there, like, probably sat on a rock, even. That's how bad things are.
Argent's
this-
probably curled around the rock that you're sitting at.
Like, it's not clearly looking a bit disturbed. But in this moment, I don't think we can do anything about it.
Tuck it away in the brain space for later.
I imagine Cynthia has just like collapsed on the floor
Oh, yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So I know everyone's kind of, I don't think anyone's in great shape. Looking at everyone.
No, I would posit that they all seem fairly strung out. Probably quite mentally and emotionally and physically exhausted to some degree.
So I think... Oh, it's urgent. But what can we do? And I don't want to worry everyone.
I would say that at this point as well, the sun is starting to go down behind the mountain.
Yeah.
It is. I would say it's pretty valid if Cassandra's like tomorrow we will talk about
Yeah. I think, like, I would discuss it with Argent. I think we're all probably quietly talking amongst our dragons.
Oh yeah.
So
Barry's
I sort
pacing, but yeah.
I sort of
Sarah's
share
just
it with
quiet.
Yeah. Share it with Argent, and we need to do something about that.
About what?
The eggs. The egg room.
Oh. Wait. The egg room is somewhat protected.
As Harold was somewhat protected, Argent.
I am aware, but more physically. Could survivors have hold up with the eggs?
Perhaps, if it's not blocked off.
Harry did say there was some sort of excavation.
Some digging.
Perhaps survivors dug out or dug in toward them.
I think we have to check before he gets there.
Then we should go. Or some should go.
I'm kind of going to look over at Perry and Tourmaline and kind of size them up a little bit of like...
Yeah, Perry's like pacing back and forth, kind of like the I don't know what to do with my hands look.
How's Tourmaline looking?
Tourmaline is sitting and just her eyes are like tracking Perry's back and forth, but just patiently sitting, kind of keeping her eye on Perry.
Okay. We may have we've thought of where they could be, but I think we need to move fast if we're going to check in the very least.
Where? What?
The egg room of Harrowhold. It's protected, but also it's underground, so if it is blocked in, we may need Tourmaline to move the rock.
We can get the rub. We can make things mud. Maybe. Mud would be bad because of collapse. It could cause
Yes.
more problems. However, if it is like a collapse and the tunnels I saw or the... I could check that pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Rithera,
Yes.
this is an ask. Will you... I think you need to stay.
I can stay. I don't want to go to Harrowhold again, but I don't mind staying here.
Be
And
good to stay for...
If anyone is heading in this direction, maybe on foot, then we do need to have someone here. How...
I don't mind.
As long as you stay safe.
I will.
And if you stay with there as well, and let Incensia rest.
Like probably looking over and Cindy just
Conk.
Like... Yeah, as much rest as Incendia trying to get.
Us moving with a smaller group would probably be a good idea right now.
An Ultra, an Ardor. How are you two with returning?
I am ready. If you are, Ardor.
I'll go wherever I'm needed.
I think we need to check for people and for eggs.
Yes.
And see if we can protect them If we get split up, return here. If there is an issue here, return in 2 days. So
Okay.
we have a plan.
Okay.
Let's go.
Barry jumps
We'll
back
see you
onto
soon.
Tourmaline and
Perry,
Yeah.
Tourmaline, Cassandra, Argent, Rithera, Incendia are staying,
Mm-hmm.
Ultra, Ardor. Okay.
We're going.
I imagine, yeah, we're probably flying low again and trying to keep. Also, we don't know how long it's going to take him to get there, if at all. So I'm not trying to push people, but we need to move.
Yeah. Okay. You head back to Harrenhold. Doesn't take too much time. You're not that far away. 20, 30 minutes or so. And as you return, keep your eyes out around to see. Don't see anything. Although you imagine, again, you've probably been noticed by nearby cities, towns, etc. Part down south past Harrenhold is nothing, but there are towns in the vicinity, which can see, flying dragons. They're used to seeing flying dragons, but they're also probably like, the hell is happening? The mountain exploded. As you return, I'm assuming it is very essentially, don't take in the scenery, don't give a shit right now about
We are
all
going
of this.
where we are going.
We're focused, we're going to a spot, we're going to do a thing. Okay. As you land, you estimate the spot where you think you are. And land, essentially, as far as you can tell, right above the chamber that goes down into
What's going on with the entranceway and everything?
it is you land on top of rubble. There is a thick level of rubble on all
Okay.
around here.
yeah, Perry hops off and starts like kind of walking around, like putting his head up against the ground, like trying to listen for anything and kind of putting a hand up like to quiet after people are done moving. He's just trying to hear any movement whatsoever. Probably won't, but is hoping and attempting.
I don't hear anything. I have an idea. It's mildly dangerous. Mostly. So. Technically, rock and stone and iron can become a gas. When heated really, really hot. Thankfully, Tourmaline doesn't have to make it hot, but it's really bad to breathe. The problem is if there are survivors under the rubble now, they could have a problem with that. But,
He like yells out at the rubble.
hold your breath!
Perhaps Argent and I can assist.
Yeah. Oh, is there a way you could make it not toxic?
I'm sure we can try.
Because then we could clear this, and also if there's anyone under there, they'd be okay.
Can we make it not a gas?
We want it to be a gas, so the rubble's gone. Just goes away.
What if they do not hear you calling to them to hold their breath?
That's what Cass can do. Make it so it's not toxic.
Yes.
It could work.
Okay.
It'll be a lot.
Are you doing a mass? Or are you doing a concentrated, like...
It's concentrated, it'll probably collapse in and on itself, so he's gonna try to go big or go home.
Okay. Just essentially like...
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, Tourmaline, could I please have a power roll? Perry, could I please have a control roll? Additionally, Argent, could I please have a power roll? And Cassandra, could I please have a control roll?
Okay. First.
If I wanted to add temperance, do I have to do that after I roll, or do I have to say it before I roll?
You can apply it after you've rolled as
Okay.
well. Essentially, if you have tags, let me know
Okay.
so we can adjust your success gauge.
Harry has perfect moment and is definitely gonna use that now in this exact moment because
Yeah.
he knows how to clear mind collapses and is trying to figure out the best spots to concentrate this on.
Okay. If you're using perfect moment, then if you'd like, you can essentially gasify a hole in the rubble. Essentially, it is, large rocks and things. You can essentially turn into gas so that it is an incline going down towards.
Yeah, that way then there's less collapse potential and
It also,
Yeah.
from above especially, will keep the location hidden while affording an entrance.
yeah, because it still looks like rubble if you're flying above it.
It
Yeah.
will mean that the dragons won't be able to go in. They'll be too big.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Perry will do that.
So,
Here is
oof.
that. That is power roll
Okay.
Argent.
for Argent. Yes.
Power roll for Argent and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then power roll, control roll.
control roll for
Um,
Sandra. Are there any tags that need to be applied to?
no. I would say
Yeah, 2 successes, 2 successes.
not brilliant for me.
Not. Yeah.
And Tourmaline, you have, I believe, magically inclined.
Yeah, I'm magically gifted, and I have patient, which I don't know if trying to take some extra time to make sure I do this correctly because a lot's riding on this.
Yeah, I would say, in this instance, there is a certain onus on getting in and getting out. So I'd say patience, but even if patience did apply, it would unfortunately not hit any of the additionals that can succeed. So 2 successes for Tourmaline and 2 successes for Perry, but you're also using the perfect moment, so that helps. Yeah, I think this isn't because you're not trying to just poof an entire section of rock rubble. This essentially a reasonably small circle, almost like an oval, is kind of appears in this big slab face of rock. As Perry, you concentrate and you shift the selected area from a solid rock into a gaseous form, where essentially it clears for people to move through. With the addition of Cassandra and Argent adding their power and Cassandra shifting it so that it is essentially not harmful, it's not going to, essentially go into your lungs and then mess around in there. And little bead of sweat maybe, especially I'd say from Cassandra, just purely because that's a rough thing to shift or to add. And it's been a long day. The path is clear, and I will say, you can see that this fairly large slab of debris had fallen pretty much directly upon the entryway. And yeah, you can see the steps going down. The path is clear. I will give the addition of there were some like rocks and stuff going down the steps, but those have also been to clear the pathway. Objective, clear the pathway.
There's I mean, I imagine we take things along with us where we go, but get a torch or a lantern that's around or in our packs and right. If you dragons are not going to fit, do you want to hide? And
We can keep watch.
yell if we need to hurry. Make that noise.
Yeah.
If we need to hurry.
Agreed. We can be on standby.
But stay safe.
We'll keep each other safe.
I'm going to turn to Ultra and Perry and be like, are you ready?
Yes. And he like starts fishing through his saddlebag, like just looking for and grabbing pretty much every tool he possibly can that he keeps with him, just hammers and chisels and things. And
Ultra?
I'm just watching Perry just take out all these tools and go like, I don't have any of these tools. Do I need them? But not going to say anything about that. And just, yes, this is important. We should go quickly.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. I'm just going to turn and head down this decline into darkness.
As you head down with the lanterns, you kind of make your way through this cleared area of rock, and the kind of like dusty air kind of shifts around you and moves as you pass through it. You step out onto the steps, and the lanterns highlight a fairly significant like down the stairs and then heading off past the stairs, like trail of blood.
I think we're gonna kind of just have to carry on. We're going where we have to go.
I'm going to squat down and do a quick swipe of it. Is it warm? Is it dried?
It's not dried, it's not warm, it's essentially very slightly old, but not like...
It's like tacky, like it's drying. This isn't fresh.
Okay, so then the idea that some of the survivors may have come down here might be inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready for anything. at this
Yes.
point.
make sure his crossbow is loaded on his wrist.
I'll grab one of my talon. Yeah, grab one of my talon things and just hold it down by my side.
I've just got a big old stave with like pointy stuff on the end. Okay, I'm just gonna carry on walking through. Probably even following that a little bit.
Yeah, Perry's like, I don't know if meaning to lead or not, but he's moving quickly in like a semi-familiar environment, unfortunately.
Yeah. As you move forward, you move through towards where the door was. Something that probably occurs to you, Cassandra, is you're not really sure how to open the door. Last time you were here, they said something in a language you didn't really understand, and it opened.
Mm-hmm.
As you get closer, you see a figure on the floor, essentially at the end of the trail of blood, missing an arm, and missing a leg, with his hand like outstretched towards the door, and the door itself being open, is Agatia. Not moving.
I
Very-
feel like I would rush up to him and sort of see how he is. It's not good, but is he gone?
He's not cold, but he's not, he's been dead for a while.
I don't mean to be cold about this, but we need to keep moving. We can attend to that later.
Kind of nods to the body and keeps moving in.
And yeah,
In a rescue, you don't stop for those that are gone. You move toward those who are alive. We need to keep moving.
okay.
As we pass, like, we're sure he's dead. Because I'll squat while we're passing quickly to feel a pulse. Or try to.
No pulse.
I look at Perry and just nod and stand up and keep pushing.
I'll probably rise up after and trail behind almost now, a little.
As you walk through the doorway into the room, your lanterns highlight, basically bring into view pedestals. There on the pedestals are 5 stone eggs. All the same color, all the same, look.
Okay. Still here.
Looking and scanning to see if there's anyone in this room.
Empty.
No. Okay, we gotta get these and get out.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna try and see if we can pick them up. Like, do they react when we move them? Because the last time we were here, that's what.
We just walked past him, yeah.
I'm assuming you're all picking them up.
Yeah, Perry would take one and
Yeah.
probably his satchel, which is him sized, it can fit one egg.
As you put your hands on them, as you touch them, there's a very slight electrode charge that you feel kind of jolt through you, and at the same time you a mixture of hear and feel a like a heartbeat.
They're okay, I think. Yeah.
And it sets in his satchel and then holds another one, clipping lantern to his belt.
There's only 4 left, you said?
5.
5.
There are 5 total, yeah.
5 total.
And Perry
Okay.
just grabbed 2.
I mean, I'm gonna put my weapon away, and I'm just gonna. How many did you take, Cass, or have you taken any yet?
I haven't yet. I've touched one, and I feel like I'm holding the lantern, so I'll probably just take one. If Perry can carry 2, then
Yeah, I'll
Like-
scoop up. So I don't think I have a bag, so I'm just gonna kind of hold them, cradle them,
Take the last
one in each arm. But be very gentle, but also very secure in
Yeah,
holding these eggs.
helping
Yeah.
you pick up the other one, kind of thing. Because once you've got one, it's
I want to keep them from breaking.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna lead the way out with my lantern and my. Oh
Okay.
no.
And you head back up. I'm assuming, do you want to? You don't really have the hands, or the you can come back down, I guess, if you want to pick up Agatia's body.
I feel like in Cassandra's mind, he died to open the door for the eggs to be saved.
Yeah.
So I think I would pause. I would have made sure his eyes were closed and stuff. And I think that I don't know.
Perry saw you pausing. He'd put a hand on your arm
We need to go. I'm sorry.
It just doesn't feel right to leave him.
It isn't. But we have to save what we can. Guarantee that's what he wanted. And then Perry moves away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn away and start heading back.
He's in a much better place now.
He accomplished his goal.
Okay, we'll... Yes, we need to get these away.
Go back up. Get back on the dragons and swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Perry is not carrying the egg. He puts that one in the saddlebag and like just keeps his tools like clipped on him for more room, and then has the other one in his normal bag.
As you take off and you head through, carrying 5 eggs back towards the swamp, we'll switch over to Rithera and to Illyria, as she's a little nervous and a little fidgety.
I'll be back soon.
I know. It's just... I don't know what we're supposed to do. We were never taught what if Harrowhold is destroyed. We've always done what the Master said, and now we don't have them anymore.
I don't think that this is something that the teachers ever expected to be something we'd have to be prepared for. So,
Master Agatia is able to contact the pod, our pod, telepathically. So I think if we just stay here, then he'll contact us and he'll let us know what to do. So as long as I'm with you all, we'll hear from a master, and one of the strongest masters, Master Agatia, is the leader almost of Harrowhold, I think.
as long as he's safe.
I'm sure he will be. I'm sure I'll hear from him soon.
Yes. Yes. If you hear from him, you let us know right away.
Thera,
Yes.
what if we're the only ones left?
And we've got a big task ahead of us. We can't let this continue.
What are we gonna do?
It's a good question. I think the most important thing is to see what happens when the rest of the pod gets back with that information to start. And then we take it one step at a time. That's all we can do. We have to stop desolation. That's the main end goal, but how we get there,
Do you think we can do it?
we can certainly try or go out trying. I'm not letting that be the end of all of this. I'm not letting desolation win, or I will die trying. That is what we signed up for,
You're right.
to protect the world.
You're right. This isn't the end, right?
Absolutely not. I refuse to let it be the end. It's heartbreaking and awful and I can't think about that. It's if we're the ones left to protect, that's what we have to do until the end.
And as Ruthera says that, the camera fades, and with the camera panning back as it fades, we see the dragons and dragon riders with their eggs incoming towards the swamp. We see Incinzia, Ruthera sitting with Illyria and Delirium, and we will find out what happens in season 2. Thank you. Sorry, I'll stop the sad music here.
Oh my
Not the sad
god.
music.
My heart. I've been on like the verge of tears for like I think 2 hours.
Sorry, that's too loud. Thank you, everyone, for watching the first season of Dragon Riders. Yes, I have spoken to everyone, and we have agreed that we want to do a season 2, so... We're not ready for the characters to be done. We're not ready for the show to be done, so... And I was... at the end there, I was just like, I'm gonna ask... I'm gonna ask Ruthera to set me up for an outro. So, how did you guys enjoy the show? The finale of season 1. Desolation.
I feel like I'm desolate.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's been really nice to jump into a system that doesn't exist, and
Yeah.
so we can try a lot of new and strange
Yeah.
things if we can think of it.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, like as you say, we've all got quite comfortable and found our dynamic,
Mhm.
or seemingly found it, and like our characters changing a bit. So it's nice to.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I'm looking forward to and interested in how the pod will deal with being rudderless and directionless and alone. But you have 5 eggs.
Time to make our own Harrow Hold. We're the masters now. We're the captains now.
This is
Oh,
terrible.
boy.
This is gonna be the worst set.
That'd be a terrible idea.
I mean, at least we've got them. It was like we have to protect them, whether that be from destruction or from corruption.
Yeah.
So, not that a dragon who is also a mountain has much cause for concern from flying
Yeah,
eggs.
he didn't even use his power.
Oh, good.
Great. Love
Um,
that for us.
You got a very vague hint of his power, Argent, but he didn't engage it. That was quite literally an animal instinct. That little animal part of Argent's brain just basically being frozen.
Good. Great. Love it. Love to hear that.
We're gonna spend all the time in between, now in season 2, thinking of how are we gonna beat this dragon?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How are we gonna do it?
We're gonna be the underground fighters where we survive for 100 years building up power while the entire upper level is just basically a smoldering wasteland, and then we pop up being like, we've saved, and everyone's dead. I guess we'll try to defeat the thing and then restart the whole world. All right, cool. Yeah, that's season 2.
It's like, oh look, there's a tree over there that's kind of alive. We saved the tree. There we go. We're now the protectors of the tree.
Yay.
Protectors the tree,
Ooh.
and that's it. Nothing else.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, there's a lot of options for season 2. I'm sure you guys will think up some, and I can't imagine any of your dragons or your characters at this point willing to, like back down and be like, it's cool, I'm a dragon rider, I'm just gonna go off and sit somewhere and
No.
No.
And there are other
Maybe
routes.
no.
Well, like they're a fair distance away, but there are other roosts. There are other sets of dragon riders.
Yeah, Harhold is like the main hub, but there were bunches of others like watching other countries and that sort of thing. Yeah.
I think like the regrouping is what we needed to do.
Need an army.
Then
But,
we will figure it out.
You ruined the Jerix Ultra love arc.
Yeah.
We didn't see a body.
Yeah, I didn't see a body. Therefore, he's totally fine and not blown up like the island exploding.
Yeah.
I was hinting to Katie because Ultra is so like antagonistic and Jerix is so antagonistic towards each other that it's clearly going to end in a love arc. Where there's going to be like a romance and everything, and Katie was like, I don't think I want that. And
Okay, won't have it then.
I was fine with it if it went that way, but I kind of like he had a little bit of a redemption arc, and I kind of love that more.
I love the look on your face, Katie, when you're like, this motherfucker's betraying us.
Honestly, at first, and then you did the whole like flip on that, and I was like, oh damn, because he called Ultra little bird, and then but was like, make sure they get out. Like it was a whole. Now I'm kind of sad. Jerix might be dead.
The only
He's so dead.
Might be dead.
Nobody.
The only option there for you to get away to hopefully warn Harrowhold was to compel the dragon and the dragon rider, Agony and Desolation, to not be able to perceive you, to essentially be focused on him, so that you could essentially sacrifice was needed to hold them back. It didn't last very long.
Yeah, that was because that's the yellow dragon power, which is like reality art alteration or perception of reality, which is why it was just like, we're the only people here. Yep, it's only us. No one else is here.
It's essentially when Jerix said that you can only perceive us and we can only perceive you. We can only perceive each other. It means that's why he said it before, because once he said that, he forgot about everything that existed outside of just each other, and so did the mage, and so did Desolation. Which is why they didn't chase after you immediately, which is why you managed to get away, because they didn't have perception of you until it was broken.
That's sad.
Also, obviously we're not gonna do a massive finale outro and thoughts and stuff, because there's gonna be a second season. But how many of you thought that the dead body was gonna be Iliagar in the tomb, in the egg hold?
Yeah, as soon as you said that, yeah, even the blood, but like when there was the body, I was like, oh no.
Yep.
I also need to apologize specifically to Elle, but to all of you, for the finale. Agati is going to be fine. He's strong. He can contact me. We'll hear from him. You'll see.
I'm like,
as
yeah.
As I was saying it, I was like, why are you doing this to them? You're a monster.
Rithera thinks everybody else is dead. So like, I was like, okay, without her knowing that knowledge. But
I feel like Rithera's gonna have a little student to help grow.
Oh.
So, let's do some outros and then do a outro, and we'll keep everyone begging for more until season 2, I guess. Sorry.
Yep.
At least I'm not leaving it on a complete cliffhanger like I did last time. Left you guys for 2 weeks with a mountain waking up.
No, we saved eggs. We accomplished a thing.
Yay!
So we will begin with who we left with, which was Rithera, Ardor, and Elbel. Hot potato it when, you know. as we
Okay.
go.
Hello. My name is Ellie. Elbel here on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I stream retro and indie games. I'm currently playing through Hollow Knight, which is a really awesome, fun thing. I'm loving it so much.
Oh, it's so good. Maybe by the time you finish it, there'll be news on Silksong.
Maybe. Ooh. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, also, for everyone, if you're in any other shows currently, please do pimp them so people can go check you out RPing in other places as well.
I am not RPing anywhere else. On that note, that's okay. I'm just gonna wait with bated breath like everybody else for season 2. And yeah, that's it.
So
You can find me 4 days a week on my Twitch channel. And
I was gonna say, don't you have plans to do isn't that Yoshi thing?
yeah, so I'm working on a one shot. I can't say when it is yet because I haven't figured it out, but I'm writing a one shot that is Mario versus Yoshi's because my entire chat thinks that I murder Yoshi's all the time. So I'm writing a D&D story that proves otherwise. So the Yoshis will get their arc of survival. And yeah.
I've heard a little bit about it. It sounds very, very fun. So, if you're interested in that one shot, go follow and check out Elle's Twitch. Hot potato.
And we will pass it to my wonderful dragon, Incinzia.
Oh, it seems quite hard today with that flying. Hi, I'm Tashna. I do variety content, but mostly I've been super busy recently, so I'm trying to find a groove. But I play Final Fantasy 14. I do my makeup. I do painting when I can. And yeah, my dog came to visit earlier. That was nice. But no shows for me until season 2 at the moment. Though I do love Tabletop and RP, I just need to find my balance with my new full-time job. So, doing my best, and I'm really enjoying it. And we'll pass over to Katie.
Get it.
Oh, hi. I'm Katie Peters Plays. I played Ulcha and Tourmaline for you all in season 1 of Dragon Riders, which means I'll probably be playing the same thing in season 2. Unless I get a message from Sheepy like, uh-oh, Ulcha and Tourmaline had an accident.
By the way,
Hopefully.
remember those 5 dragon eggs? You carry this, everyone.
You can find me on Twitch at Katie Peters Plays, Twitter Play Katie Play. For RP stuff, just keep your eyes peeled for future things. And then also, I have podcasts. One called Quantum Drive about the Orville, which still has a lot of episodes coming out and lots of interviews with the cast and crew. And then also, Katie hasn't seen that season 2 is dropping in a couple weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And, if you want to hear me tear apart some of your favorite movies, this is your opportunity to. But yeah, that's me. I don't think there's anything else. I'm probably forgetting something. But yeah, I'm going to hot potato it to death.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Domestic Dan, who played Pericorts and Argent here on season 1 of Dragon Riders. It was so fun. I had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
And then there were literal blasts, and then I had less of a blast. I'm currently only in one other show. It is also on Mondays, but it's a little after, so you could totally watch both at the same time, because brains work that way, and I definitely know how to do that. Yeah. But that's 100 Club. It's a Cowboy Bebop show, basically.
Cowboy Bebop. Good.
And I'm a Southern Hick trucker pilot, and I have a giant mullet, so...
Honestly, that's
terrible.
enough
It's
reason
awful.
to watch it. Just see
Right?
how to do that.
Yeah, go watch Mages and then watch this. And the best thing about
and that's on Table Story. But the best thing about things is there are VODs and YouTube for both channels, so you can actually watch both. Isn't that cool? So you should do that and subscribe to both YouTubes.
I was gonna say, go watch our most dramatic and tear-jerking scenes in 2x speed with the high-pitched voices and everything. Be hilarious. It pulls a little bit of the weight out if you're having a bad day. So, other than that,
1.25.
yeah, that's actually what I tend to do. I don't have enough time in the day to watch all these RP shows, so you gotta watch them a little faster. Other than that, I'm now a cult leader, and I happen to be a cute little lamb. So, because everyone else is doing that, but it's too good, so I don't mind.
It's a fun game.
I'll be doing that later today, because I have to, because I need to make sure my flock is okay.
Hashtag a cult.
A cult, straight up a cult. Definitely a cult.
What's your cult's name, Dan?
House of Hot Trout.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna say what mine is, mostly because I stream it offline and no one needs to know.
I see. Got it. Now we can infer all the horrible things that Sheepy would name his cult. And I'm gonna hot potato to a terrible cult leader named Sheep.
Hello, everyone. Hashtag yes, this time it is a cult.
Mine was kind of a cult, though.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. Check out the Patreon, check out Twitter, check out Discord, check out everyone here. Links are below, both on the stream, on Twitch, and on the video, so it's very easy to find everyone if you want to. I won't accept excuses, go do it. And it has been bizarrely stressful to run a completely custom setting and system, especially with the especially with keeping the overlays in mind, having to switch between like dragon and stuff like that. But it has been so ridiculously satisfying to pull it off satisfactorily, to have you guys playing two different characters who are so you have your bonds and your attachments between 8 characters, and you guys, regardless of everything else, I really enjoyed the show. It was amazing and stuff. You guys fucking knocked it out the park with handling 2 characters and the bonds, and playing a dragon, playing a dragon rider, playing the dragon for someone else's dragon rider. It was so good. And I will be releasing in the next week or so to the Patreon the system. It's very simple. It'll just be kind of like some guidelines, some lore to get you started if you want to run your own game. But if you're interested in it, the Patreon exists. You can pledge a little or a lot. There are options. Preferably just go for a little, because I don't want people throwing money at me. But it helps support the channel.
Which goes to cast pay and then artwork and intros and stuff.
Goes initially to cast pay, and then we'll go to additional shows like the Friday slot, and then we'll go to art and intros and all of that type of thing. Turns out that who knew it, running a TTRPG show or 2 is quite expensive. So added on to that, everyone who is already a patron, you'll see them in the credits that are just about to roll past you, with an amazing outro song and videos and everything done by Savage. She's awesome. Thank you to all of the patrons, because essentially you supporting the Monday show so quickly and overlapping the Monday show forced me to do Dragon Riders seriously and quicker than I thought I was going to have to. So, I have other ideas for some very weird and experimental shows. I won't give you any clues quite yet, but I don't know. Generally, if you're a patron, if you're in the Discord, you'll see some hints and some clues here and there. So, thank you for watching, everyone. We're gonna go. We will be back towards the end of the year. Keep an eye on the Twitter and on the Discord for an idea of when we'll be coming back. Or if you watch the Monday show, I'll probably announce it on there when we're going to be coming back for season 2. But for now, enjoy the outro. Thank you to the cast. They are fucking amazing. And we're going to go and cry for a while. So off we go.